Welcome to Daily English Podcast. Let us learn English together.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Daily English Podcast. I am Jay.
And I am Sara. We are so happy you are here with us right now.
Okay, before we start today, I need everyone listening to do something for me right now.
What are we doing, Jay?
Pick up your phone, look at your screen time from yesterday, and be completely honest with yourself about what you see.
Oh no, this is already making me nervous.
Because most people think they use their phone maybe 2 or 3 hours a day, but the real number is usually double that, sometimes triple.
I checked mine once and I genuinely could not believe what I saw. It was embarrassing, like finding out how much money you spent on food delivery last month.
Exactly that feeling. That slightly shameful, oh wow moment.
That very specific oh wow moment, yes.
So, today we are asking one simple but very powerful question. Could you actually survive 7 full days without your phone? Not 7 hours, 7 entire days.
Just hearing that question makes something inside me say absolutely not, which honestly tells me everything I need to know.
And that reaction, that immediate no, that is exactly what we are exploring today.
So stay with us, everyone, because this conversation is going to make you laugh, make you think, and make you look at that little rectangle in your pocket very differently after today.
Sara, let me ask you something funny. What is the first thing you do when you wake up every morning?
Okay, honestly, my alarm goes off, I reach over to turn it off, and somehow by the time I turn the alarm off, my thumb is already opening Instagram. I do not even make a conscious decision. It just happens automatically.
Your thumb has its own plans before your brain even wakes up.
My thumb is operating completely independently from my brain at that point. My brain is still saying, "Good morning, world," and my thumb is already deep into someone else's holiday photos.
And this is what scientists call automatic behavior. Your brain has repeated the action so many times that it no longer needs to think about it. It just does it.
Which sounds harmless, but think about what that means. The very first moments of your day, before you have even had one thought of your own, before you have even decided how you feel or what you want, someone else's content is already filling your mind.
Someone else's highlight reel, someone else's opinion, someone else's life, before you have even started living your own day.
And I never really thought about it that way until recently, but it genuinely changed how I felt about my morning phone habit. Because those first few quiet moments of the day, when your mind is fresh and calm and open, those moments are precious, and most of us immediately fill them with noise.
Studies show that the average person checks their phone about 90 times every single day. That is roughly once every 10 minutes of waking life.
90 times. And what are we actually finding 90 times a day that is so important? Usually, absolutely nothing. Just refreshing the same apps, hoping something new appeared in the last 8 minutes.
And usually, nothing new appeared.
Nothing ever appears, but we check anyway, every single time.
Okay, let us make this fun. Let us walk through what 7 days without a phone would actually look like, day by day, starting with day 1.
Day 1, you wake up, your hand reaches for the phone, then you remember, no phone, and you just lie there in bed, staring at the ceiling, not knowing what to do with yourself.
What do you actually do with your hands without a phone? This is a genuine problem that nobody talks about.
It is a very genuine problem. Your hands suddenly feel unemployed. They're just sitting there with nothing to do, looking confused and slightly upset about the situation.
Unemployed hands. I have never related to anything more in my life.
And then you decide to have breakfast. Normally, you eat while watching something on your phone, but today you just sit there with your food in silence. Just you and the sound of yourself eating, which is surprisingly uncomfortable.
Nobody should have to listen to themselves eat without distraction. That is not something humans were designed for.
Absolutely not. And the worst part of day one is how many times you automatically reach for a phone that is not there. You're watching television, your hand reaches for the phone. You're waiting for the kettle to boil, your hand reaches for the phone. You're sitting on the sofa doing nothing, your hand reaches for the phone. It happens about 60 times before noon, and every single time it feels slightly wrong, like something is missing.
Like a phantom limb. People who lose a hand sometimes still feel it there. That is what your phone becomes, a phantom limb.
That is exactly what it feels like, a phantom phone that your hand keeps reaching for even though it's not there.
So day one sounds genuinely difficult. But what happens on day 2 and 3?
Days 2 and 3 are when things start getting really interesting because the initial panic starts to settle and something else starts to happen instead.
Something good or something bad?
Something surprisingly good. You start noticing things, small, beautiful things that you completely stopped noticing because you were always looking at your phone, like the way light comes through your window in the morning, or the sound of rain on the roof, or the fact that your neighbor has a really beautiful garden that you walked past 100 times without ever actually seeing.
Because you are always looking down.
Always looking down, and the world is actually happening up and around you, not down in your hand. And when you finally look up, you realize you missed quite a lot.
That sounds genuinely beautiful.
It is. And another thing that happens on day 2 and 3 is that your conversations with people around you become completely different. When you are not distracted by your phone, you are fully there with the person in front of you, and they can feel it, and they open up more, and you listen more. And suddenly, a 10-minute conversation feels richer and more meaningful than hours of scrolling ever did.
Because real human connection gives you something that no amount of screen time ever can.
It gives you something that actually fills you up inside, rather than just keeping you busy.
Okay, but let us be honest. It is not all beautiful windows and meaningful conversations. What are the genuinely hard moments?
The hardest moment is when something funny or interesting happens, and your first instinct is to photograph it or share it, and you cannot. And you realize how much of your experience you were processing through the lens of sharing it rather than actually living it.
Oh, that is deep. You were experiencing life as content rather than as life.
Exactly. And that realization is uncomfortable because it makes you wonder, how many moments did I not fully enjoy because I was too busy trying to capture them for other people? How many sunsets did I photograph instead of actually watching? How many meals did I take pictures of instead of actually tasting?
You were the documentarian of your own life instead of the participant.
That hit me really hard when I thought about it. And the other genuinely hard part is the boredom. Real, genuine boredom, which we almost never experience anymore because we have eliminated every moment of boredom with our phones. And boredom feels really uncomfortable at first. But here's something fascinating. After a while, boredom transforms. It becomes something else. It becomes creativity. It becomes daydreaming. It becomes your brain finally having the quiet space to come up with its own ideas, rather than consuming everyone else's.
Your brain needs boredom the same way your body needs sleep.
Exactly that. And we've been stealing that from ourselves every single day without even realizing it.
Sara, what do you think is the most important thing someone would discover about themselves during 7 days without their phone?
I think they would discover what they actually think and feel, which sounds strange because of course you know what you think and feel. But do you really? Because the moment any uncomfortable feeling appears, boredom, loneliness, anxiety, sadness, most of us immediately reach for the phone to make that feeling go away. We scroll and tap and swipe until the uncomfortable feeling is buried under enough distraction that we forget it was there. And so we never actually sit with our feelings long enough to understand them. We just keep running away from them into our screens.
And those feelings do not actually go away. They just wait.
They just wait, and they come back over and over again until you finally stop and actually face them. And when you face them without a phone in your hand, you discover something important. Most uncomfortable feelings, when you actually sit with them and look at them honestly, they are not as scary as you thought they were. They're just feelings, and feelings pass. But you have to let yourself feel them first.
That is something therapists have been saying for years, but somehow it hits different when you connect it to phone usage.
Because most of us do not think of our phone as an emotional escape. We think of it as just entertainment or communication. But for a lot of people, it has become the primary way they avoid being alone with their own thoughts and feelings. And that avoidance has a cost, a real cost to self-understanding and emotional health.
So the big question, could you actually do it, Sarah? 7 full days, right now, starting tomorrow morning?
Honestly, I think I could. Not easily, not comfortably. The first 2 days would be genuinely difficult. My hands would be confused, my brain would be restless. I would probably walk into walls because I forgot how to navigate without GPS. But yes, I think I could do it. And I think I would come out the other side knowing myself better, sleeping better, seeing the world more clearly, and having much more appreciation for the moments when I do use my phone intentionally, rather than just automatically.
Intentionally versus automatically. That is a really important distinction.
It is the most important distinction, because your phone is not the enemy. Technology is not the enemy. The problem is not that we have phones. The problem is that we stopped choosing when to use them. They just use us. All day, every day, without us ever really deciding to pick them up. And taking back that choice, even just for a few days, can completely change your relationship with your phone and with yourself.
I love that. Taking back the choice.
Because ultimately, that is what this is about. Not giving up your phone forever, not living in a cave without technology, just remembering that you are the one who gets to decide when and how technology fits into your life, not the other way around.
Before we finish, let us quickly go through the most useful English words and phrases from today, because learning English through real conversations is exactly what this podcast is all about.
Word 1, automatic. When something happens without you thinking about it or deciding to do it. Reaching for my phone in the morning is completely automatic. I do not even decide to do it.
Word 2, dependent. When you need something so much that you cannot function properly without it. Many people have become completely dependent on their phones for even the smallest tasks.
Phrase 3, cut back. To reduce how much you do something. I decided to cut back on my phone usage, and it made a huge difference to how I felt.
Phrase 4, be present. To give your full attention to what is happening right now. Without my phone, I was able to be fully present in every conversation.
Phrase 5, wind down. To relax slowly at the end of a busy day. Not using my phone before bed helped me wind down properly and sleep much better.
And phrase 6, take back control. To regain power over something in your life. I decided to take back control of my time and stop letting my phone decide how I spent my day.
6 phrases, all natural, all useful, all perfect for everyday English conversation.
Sarah, one final question. What would you say to someone listening right now who is thinking about trying this challenge? 7 days without their phone.
I would say do it. Not because phones are bad, not because technology is the enemy, but because you deserve to know who you are without the noise. You deserve to find out what your own thoughts sound like when they are not constantly interrupted. You deserve to see how beautiful the world is when you look up from your screen. And you deserve to discover that you are actually quite good company, even when you are alone, even when it is quiet, even when there is nothing to scroll through. You yourself are enough. And sometimes you need to take the phone away to remember that.
That was genuinely beautiful, Sarah.
And to everyone listening to us today, thank you so much for being here. Genuinely, from the bottom of both our hearts. You chose to spend this time learning and growing, and that choice is not small. That choice says everything about the kind of person you are.
If today's episode made you think or smile or feel something real, please do one thing for us right now.
Subscribe to our channel Not because we're asking, but because when you subscribe, you are saying yes to something good. Yes to learning real English every week. Yes to conversations that matter. Yes to growing a little bit more every single day. And you deserve all of that, every bit of it.
Leave us a comment below and tell us honestly, could you live without your phone for 7 days? We want to know. We read every single comment, everyone without exception.
And share this episode with one person today. One friend, one family member, one colleague, someone who you think needs to hear this. Because the most loving thing you can do for someone is share something that might help them see themselves and their life a little more clearly.
I am Jay.
And I'm Sarah, and we will see you in the next episode. Keep learning, keep growing, and every once in a while, put the phone down, look up, take a breath, and remember, the most interesting thing in your world is not on any screen. It is the life you are actually living, right now, today. Goodbye, everyone. Until next time, we love you all.